What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday, beautiful, beautiful people.
Love it.
We have a special episode for you today because we have our first ever guest on Your Hype Girl. Today, I'm not going to be your hype girl. We have a hype boy on the pod.
Hype man.
Hype man. This hype man has actually been my hype man now for about almost 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
Let me introduce you to my little brother, Jonas Tuttle.
Hello. Hi, my name is Jonas Tuttle. I am Audrey's younger brother, the hype girl herself. I'm pretty hype, so I'm excited to be on here.
Jonas, how do you feel being the very first guest on your Hype Girl pod? Pretty iconic, right?
Yeah, it's an honor. It's, it's super awesome. Not even just that. When she went to offer it to me originally, I was really excited. It was super cool. Because this was maybe, actually, a little behind the scenes action.
Okay.
This was a few episodes in the past. So she didn't even get to episode 3 at the time, whenever she offered this. So this has been in the works for a little while. I don't know if I'm super prepared for it, but I'll try my best, and I'm hyped.
No, this is going to be great. This is going to be so exciting. Yeah. So I'm excited to have you on this podcast because, like I said, I feel like you've been someone who's been in my corner and my hype person for pretty much my entire life. Jonas is someone who is so wise beyond his years. Like, I go to him for everything and all advice and everything along those lines. Since you're our first guest, I wanted to start a new tradition when I have guests on. Right off the bat, I want to talk about some areas in your life that you're trying to grow right now. So what are some areas, whether that be in school, whether that be in working out, what are some specific areas that you can think of right now that have been an inspiration to you?
Let me answer this.
Okay.
So actually, I'm going to talk about New Year's resolutions real quick.
Ooh,
I'll go really
3 months
quick.
in, New Year's already. Okay.
Pretty crazy, pretty awesome.
We're in March right now, you
guys. I don't know, most of them take about a year, so I don't know if I've actually completed them.
Okay.
But what I usually do for each year, this started last year, is I will do the year of, and then like blank. I'm sure we'll get into some more of the details, so I won't spoil anything, but last year was called the Year of Opportunity. And that's where I was able to do things such as go to China and...
we're going to be talking about that, by the way.
Join AI research team, found a lot of great opportunities, both university and outside of it, socially. Super awesome. But this year, specifically, as of what's recent, is I called it the Year of Development. And so what I'm essentially trying to do is, no matter what it is, I'm more honing my craft for things. Whether this is schooling, right? I feel like this semester of all semesters, this is my 4th one, sophomore of spring semester right now, and I feel like I have really found the foundations of computer science. I forgot to mention that. I'm a computer science major. If anybody who's in that major may know, it can be very hard at the beginning, a lot of these concepts, but now that I have the foundations down...
You're crushing it.
Yeah, I'm sort of getting the development down. It's pretty awesome.
Because you are a sophomore right now at Texas State.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fun. So we both are in San Marcos, Texas. I work for the athletic department. He's currently a student. So we get to hang out all the time, which is so much fun.
Freaking love it.
But yeah, you're computer science, so...
Yeah, so computer science right there. It can be notoriously hard at the beginning, but I'm honing the skills out there. It's not just that. I actually recently got a free meal plan at the university
We
here.
love free food.
Oh my golly, you have no idea. It is amazing. I went from rationing meals. I would have like 2 cans of tuna, maybe 2 eggs throughout the day, a couple other things like fruits and veggies.
You gotta feed yourself.
It was good. I'm not good at cooking. That's my problem.
Ooh.
But once I got the free meal plan...
Red flag.
Yellow, because I'm learning. Anybody watching, please.
He's single, ladies.
And I'm willing to learn.
He's single, but he can't cook, so...
But I'm open for the opportunity, right? Yeah, so ever since I got the meal plan, I basically doubled my caloric intake. And, you know, a lot of people in the lifting world of working out would call that bulking and all that. And so, yeah, I've just been on the bulk. I've been working out 6 days a week consistently,
finally.
Yeah, today was leg day, kind of brutal. I was stumbling here, you know.
What, squats? Quads in, got the...
Had to do a little calf workout.
Calf raises?
The seated ones. Where you're sitting down.
Where you put it on the weight on your...
Kinda...
So we used to do at Tech, we used to put weight like on our knees. And then, and then like do calf raises.
I know what those are. Those are terrible.
Dude, they're tough.
They're awful. I think I've actually not broken, but it felt like I did one time.
Yeah.
It hurt so bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did that. Not that, but I did a better calf raises. A little safer, easier.
Good.
My personal favorite, they're very painful, but I really love them. They're called the goblet squats.
Goblet squats. Heck yeah. Okay, so I like it. This is the year of development for you. You are developing into the person that you want to be in the technology world, seeing improvement in the weight room, which is fantastic. It's always great, I think, to move your body. And to keep that aspect. I said this on a previous episode, but like your body is the one thing that you're going to have with you for the rest of your life. And that's like the one physical thing. So why not take care of yourself today so you can love your body tomorrow and like 20 years from now, you know?
Preach.
Okay, don't you want to ask me what I've been working on this week?
Sure, yeah. This week specifically.
Because I give updates every week on like my... Okay. Yeah, someone's not listening.
Well,
no wonder you're not prepared, Jonas. You came into this having no idea what this podcast...
I listened to the first bits of episode 1 and 2 when we were in the car together.
But not on your free time, on your own,
I fell asleep in the car, but...
Yeah, see, I played the first episode for him. He's out within like 5 minutes. And I'm taking offense to that, but I don't want anyone thinking that this is a boring podcast.
It's amazing. Like it, 5-star it, frankly. Subscribe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Do everything. Hit the bell.
So this week, Brandon and I have been eating really healthy. We have had like salmon, and I made this like spring roll salad. Dude, and we know Brandon. Brandon can cook. Brandon's my boyfriend.
Oh, you have no idea. That's a green flag. He is a walking green flag. That guy right there. Holy cow.
We have Jonas over for like little family dinners now that we live in the same city again. And when I say family dinners, it means Brandon cooks for both me and Jonas.
Oh.
But we've been eating really healthy. We made this really good like healthy protein like chocolate dessert. It's been amazing. Not only that, but we just got off of spring break from work. And I've been kind of working on my mindset when it comes to work. You know me, athletic department, we work like 80-hour weeks, right? And sometimes it's hard for me to take a rest week like we did for spring break. I didn't really like work a whole ton, and I felt like guilty from that. And it kind of hit me like, hey, I need to not feel guilty. I need to put my self-care ahead of this, and it's healthy for me to have a break.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what's been happening this past week for me.
A little treat yourself moment, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Faux show.
For sure.
Okay, the next thing I want to talk about here is I kind of want to dig into sibling relationships. Okay? Because I think that we have such a great and healthy sibling relationship. Do you agree with that, right?
Oh, hate this girl. No, I'm joking.
Jonas sucks. Jonas is horrible. Sad that I'm stuck with him as a sibling. No, but I think that we have such a special relationship. Like, growing up, I feel like I had friends and stuff who weren't as close with their siblings, and
for sure.
were like
I see that all the
annoyed.
time.
Yeah, and like annoyed with their siblings.
It's so sad. I don't know. But, you know, each situation's different, but I'm very happy that we have a strong dynamic.
Yeah, me too. Because I feel like you're one of my best friends.
Besties.
Besties for the resties.
Since day one for me,
Day
actually.
one
Day
for
zero.
Day
for me,
zero.
Actually. It's crazy.
Yeah. I held you as a little child. I don't remember it. I was like 2, but I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think that stems from? Why do you think we're so close? I have a few thoughts towards this. But what are yours? I'm kind of curious.
Ooh, good question. I mean, honestly, this might be a scientific answer.
Okay, I like it.
But
we got STEM up in here.
A lot of times in psychology, they talk about the thing of nature versus nurture. And you could talk about the arguments there. I mean, of course, siblings has a factor to it, but I understand there are siblings that aren't very close and dynamic. So I'm actually not going to take the nature approach. I think the way that we were nurtured as children allowed us to be able to have this opportunity to hang out. We oftentimes, like, our mom would give us in activities together. swim, for instance, even though we were different age groups, we did swim together.
Who'd win in breaststroke? You versus me.
At the beginning, she did. But
Jonas was a varsity swimmer.
my all-time fastest
4 years.
is better. Just want to put that out there.
No, you're a killer breaststroker.
Oh,
Killer. But keep going. So
yeah, so I mean, it's probably a culmination of a lot of things. That's one of them, though. Was just the reason we were put in these things together. We were not isolated. We were not separated.
Yeah.
We were together. We were able to, spend time together, do things together. It sort of let us get used to each other. And it also created interests, like-minded interests.
Yeah, like similar interests.
Yeah, similar interests right there. Shoot, there's probably so many other things, but that's just one of the examples, I feel like.
Because I remember even growing up, we did, everything together. We would play with our Webkins and stuff in the playroom. We'd trash the playroom and then have to go clean it.
Oh, it was crazy.
We played, the GameCube together.
Mm-hmm.
We were competitive.
Lego Star Wars.
In that,
Mario Kart.
I was just about to say Mario
Kart. Double Dash.
Specifically. Who was your go-to in Mario Kart? I feel like mine was Yoshi.
Yoshi. Mine right now is Yoshi, actually.
You still play?
Every once in a while. I will admit, I actually have not touched a video game in 4 months.
That's shocking because Jonas is a huge gamer.
A former huge gamer.
Are you on Twitch?
Programmer.
What's your Twitch? Drop the Twitch!
You know what? I used to do
Plug
Twitch.
yourself.
And I used to be an affiliate.
Plug
Crazy
yourself.
enough.
Doesn't it have a funny name or something?
Oh my.
Oh, he's blanking. Oh, you're so fake.
No, I had.
You're so fake.
I haven't streamed in 2 years. I probably had multiple.
What was some of your favorite childhood memories with us or with me?
Oh my gosh.
If you can't think of anything.
Man, it's crazy. There's no
it's
memories
just
I got
too
right there.
many.
Yeah.
You can't remember your Twitch name. You can't remember.
Can't remember the Twitch name. What's up with that? No. A lot of the times, when you say childhood, a lot of people will think young, and there's a lot of fun times where we were both young.
Yeah.
But I actually really noted a lot of the fun times where we might have been even older.
Okay. Like what?
Because that's where our friendships were more culminated.
Yeah, that's a word.
We knew each other a little more. Of course, we knew each other as children, but
it's it's a different relationship. You're grown. You're grown. It's
exactly shoot, it's crazy. I could mention the trips and all that. I could mention big things or small things, but I think one really notable one, which is really fun, is we used to have a guest bedroom at the house. And then sometimes, just for the fun of it, we'd spend the night at the guest bedroom.
Oh, we'd have little sleepovers together.
It was like a mini sleepover.
It was like a slumber party.
Exactly. And I don't know if it was the lamp light.
Are you about to talk about the puppet?
Were you going to bring that up?
I was about to bring that up. But go ahead.
I must have stole your story.
No, go ahead. We did this a lot, actually, because it was fun.
It was pretty dope. Ahead. Yeah, so there was a lamp there. Was it a lamp?
It was, I feel like it was the light coming in from the
moonlight,
window.
Yeah,
the moonlight.
Yeah. Well, whatever it was some light coming up from somewhere. And it was on the wall. I guess you can't see it here. But what would we do? We'd just make shadow puppets. And then just play a game. For some reason, it wasn't even just normal shadow puppets. So my thing is I would have my index finger pointed in. Anybody that's not watching it but listening to it, I'd have my index finger pointed in, my thumb upward.
It looks like a dog.
So it's like a dog, and I go,
You're scared. Meow, meow. You're scared. Meow, meow.
and then I
I know what you're saying. Okay.
What? Who wouldn't want a super awesome boyfriend to do shadow puppets with them? Come on.
In the moonlight.
In the moonlight,
Dude. Yeah, and so we used to stay up. It was probably way past our bedtime. I'm pretty sure it was a school night half the time.
We say that, but I'm not going to lie, it was probably 9 p.m. back in the day.
Do you remember during swim meets and stuff, we'd play DS's and then we would. Sure. I remember one time or several times we'd watch SpongeBob episodes in the back of Mom's Volvo, back when that had
on the
TVs.
Top screen.
Yeah.
Behind the headrest.
Yeah. Just a lot of.
They need to bring that technology back, in my opinion.
I think so too. Dude, you're in technology. Make it happen. Tesla.
Put on the Teslas. Yeah.
Tesla, if you're listening.
Elon Musk. Please.
Jonas Tuttle.
Hire me. I'll add SpongeBob all over there.
SpongeBob. One of my favorite memories, though, from recently we were on a road trip back home, and we were playing this game to where we were playing only throwback music, and the two of us would be like screaming our guts out to it.
Oh yeah.
And we would try and see who would last the longest in knowing all the lyrics, okay? And it was so much fun. Like, whenever someone dropped out, you'd be like, you got this, Audrey, like, keep going. Like, hyping each other up.
Hype it up.
Like, hyping each other up. You're hype girl. You're hype boy.
Exactly. Is this what motivated you to start the podcast? Was it our singing?
Our singing was the sole reason why I started this podcast. No, but there was one song that you got all the way through, from start to end.
It was the only one.
Are you ready? Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find, reaching for something in Okay, soprano, you're choking up over there.
I forgot a lyric halfway through that. I'm not gonna lie, I would have been.
It's illuminating.
Illuminating.
The sun illuminate the words.
I think I said something else in the car.
Inhibition, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you.
Only you can let it in.
That's it. That's the podcast right there.
Is that
what?
Copyright? Can we?
I mean, I think we're fine.
It's our cover, so legally we're allowed to.
Forget the Jackson 5. We got the Tuttle 2 right here, baby. Let's go.
It's even cooler. Tuttle 2.
Tuttle 2. It's alliteration. Yeah, that's right. I remember English.
The alliteration of 2 words. Two-word alliterations.
Jonas knows I was a nerd in high school, so.
Big nerd. It was crazy. You think, I mean, y'all probably don't even think I'm a nerd. I'm actually really cool and awesome. This girl was a major nerd.
Stop. I still am. Did you know I stayed up till 2 a.m. the past 2 nights reading fantasy books?
Wow.
Yeah.
Which ones?
A Court of Thorn and Roses, a Qatar. It's, you're obviously not on Book Talk.
I'm not.
You're obviously not on Book Talk. It's really big right now. I wasn't a huge, like, fantasy book reader until I got into those in 4th Wing. And now I can't put it down, so.
Well, I'm not on Book Talk, but what I am is on Movie Talk. And you know
Movie
the big
Talk.
one that's going on right now?
Dune, right?
Dune 2.
Dune 2.
The greatest movie of all time.
So do you have a man crush on Timothée Chalamet?
Oh my gosh. I'm like, woo! On this, no. Yeah, oh, it's actually
seen
crazy.
It once, or?
I've only seen it once, but I want to see it twice. And I actually bought the Dune book. And
oh, yeah.
I didn't just buy the Dune book. I bought the Barnes & Noble $40 exclusive, leather from front to back, gold pages.
Nerd.
And it has like one of those bookmarks.
Yeah.
The built-in bookmarks. I forgot what it's called.
A bookmarker.
So Timothy,
the thing that marks your book.
Shout out to Timothy for convincing me to drop 40 on Dune.
Did you know that was Austin Butler in the movie?
I had no idea. I actually, so I watched it.
Elvis.
I watched it with my roommate.
Yeah.
And then my roommate was like, "Yo, what the heck?" And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that's Austin
That's
Butler.
That's actually insane.
That's the Austin
Butler. I couldn't
Butler.
tell.
That was stacked, though. I mean, Zendaya, Florence Pugh, Austin Butler.
And Zendaya was actually in the movie this time.
She wasn't just highlighted, like, little...
in all the ads.
Yeah. Or what about that one actress in this
marketing.
one that plays the daughter, and she's only shown for, like, one scene? I'm blanking on it. She's in the chess, not chess, what's that game?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, she's the main, Ann Taylor, something, I don't know, I'm blanking on her name.
Something like that, yeah.
Anyways, any other advice on sibling relationships besides having the best older sister that could have ever... Did you have any, like, did we ever have conflict growing up?
I remember one specific time.
Wait, I'm scared. Oh my god, you're about to talk about the controller.
I'm so upset.
Oh my god.
I'm so upset about it.
It was on Siblings, like National Siblings Day too. Keep going.
I spent so much money. So, it was my birthday one time, and graciously I was gifted, this was back in my gamer days, I was gifted a Pro controller for the PlayStation 4. And if anybody knows anything about console gaming, a Pro controller is essential if you really want to get serious in your gamerness.
Nerd.
So what happened was I bought a wired Pro controller that had like this weird wiring in it.
Oh no.
But in short, to translate it, I had the time of my life with that controller. So many great memories, so many awesomeness. that came out of it.
Oh, no.
And then not even a year later, I feel like,
You got a full year.
maybe.
You got a full year.
You think so?
That's solid.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
But
What's the lifespan on that thing? Maybe a year and a half.
multiple years. The actual lifespan, man, it lowered the life expectancy of the average, I will tell you.
Okay. Keep
You
going.
destroyed it too quickly.
No.
So we were just hanging out, or not? We weren't just hanging out. I think I was downstairs and you were upstairs, and you went. I forgot the details because I was just so saddened by what happened. But I think you were trying to get me to go upstairs to watch something, right?
Yeah.
Is that it?
That sounds right.
Yeah, and so you were trying to convince me by, I don't know, messing with my controller or like twirling it or something. And you didn't mean to do this, so I forgive you now. But you were twisting it, but because of the special wiring, it bent all the little prongs that were sticking out, and it permanently destroyed my controller, and I was so upset.
You were.
And what really made it upset was that my mom didn't side with me. She just
Thanks,
destroyed
Kathy.
it out of nowhere. And then
Thank
she
you.
said, Jonas, not quote, but this is how I took it in my brain.
Okay.
This is the Jonas quote.
Oh my gosh.
Jonas is not that big of a deal. Why are you upset? It's just a controller. I'm like, Mom, this is my life. This is my living.
That was his life.
No.
So we would be in like a petty little argument or something, and then we'd have to hold each other's hands, and Mom would be like, okay, tell each other you love each other.
Mm.
And then we'd just be giggling. Like, we'd be like kind of like smug face, like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to start, like, it's like a little smile on your face, sort of.
Exactly. It is awesome because it takes away all of the
Anger
that they have for each other.
Yeah.
And I actually use this, or have used this on my roommates currently. We're all 20, 21 years old. Not the I love you part. But what I've done
you
is,
should do the I love you part.
whenever they get in a squabble, they get mad at each other.
Oh.
I will be like, hey, come here. The two would come here. And what would happen is, and this is universally for all of us, what we'll do is if we get upset, we have to shake each other's hands.
Uh-huh.
And we have to say 3 things that we really genuinely appreciate about each
Aww,
other.
that's sweet.
But it's awesome because, like, we're guys, so it's a little goofy.
It's goofy, yeah.
So,
That makes sense.
but we genuinely will force good compliments out of each other, and then it just diffuses the situation entirely,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But it's through goofiness, because, inherently for children it's awesome, but for us, it's a little funny, and
Yeah.
it kind of just lowers tensions.
Yeah.
Not that we really have tensions, but,
Yeah.
somebody, like, use somebody's eggs, or
Yeah.
sometimes we'll throw water at each other for fun, spray the little, prank each other, troll each other.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think, too, I feel like I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I feel like another reason why we're close is we always, for me at least, I always leaned on you. Like, so our parents got divorced. Let's hop into the sob story. No, I'm kidding.
Ooh.
Parents divorced, traumatized children. Not really.
Divorced Parents episode win.
Episode.
Bring them on.
We should bring Mom and Dad on.
Would I have to be there?
Yes.
To delegate?
Yes. We should bring Mom and Dad on an episode and talk about the divorce.
That'd be kind of awesome, actually.
That would be. I was like 11 years old, and I think you were like 8, or maybe
I was in 3rd grade. That's
I
all
was in
know.
5th, so that makes sense. We should dig that up. All the dirt.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. But I feel like I leaned on you because, like, we had to go and bounce between houses. It was definitely like a big change in our lives. And so, but you were like the one consistency in my life. Like I don't know about you, but we leaned on each other.
Yeah.
During that point.
Definitely.
And I think that grew our relationship. I think another thing that grew our relationship is something that happened 2 years ago. Do you feel comfortable?
I wonder what happened. Well,
Do you
yeah.
feel
Go
comfortable
ahead.
talking about this now?
Perfectly fine. Just for a disclaimer, it was a brain injury, and I genuinely do not remember the day. I think that was my brain saying, "Yo, bro, you gotta forget this."
Can we talk about it in full?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So it took place. It was the day after your 18th birthday.
Yes.
Jonas was spending his 18th birthday in Austin, hanging out with friends.
Mm.
Our whole family, the rest of our family, was in Lubbock for, it wasn't senior weekend, but maybe it was my senior weekend. They were up there for some reason. Like, they were up there for a volleyball game, obviously.
Mm.
But Mom and Jason's our stepdad, was on their way home from Lubbock. I remember that.
Mm.
And Jonas was on the way home with his friend at the time, and it was in Wharton, Texas.
Mm.
and
I forgot what city was it.
it was in Wharton. Yeah, it was right
I
outside of
forgot the whole
Houston.
thing, so-
Yeah, it was in Houston area, outside of Houston, Wharton.
Mm.
And you missed a stop sign on one of those tiny little country roads.
Yeah.
And a huge van, like a very large, like Tahoe van, T-boned your car right behind where your friend was sitting. Your friend's airbags went off, but yours didn't. Do you remember the car coming?
Kind of. I mean, there might need to be more background to really understand, but there was two things I very, very slightly remember. Like, imagine it like a short TikTok clip or something, like a...
Yeah.
I don't want to say Vine clip, but, you know, it was literally between 6 seconds, 6 to 10 seconds kind of thing. One of them was briefly right before the crash. And the reason I was able to confirm it was true is because I correctly described what the car looked like.
It was like a tan, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, tan. And I thought of it as like, I don't know about Tahoe. I said like giant minivan or something.
Yeah.
But big car.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was just, this is kind of giving spoilers, but spoilers.
Don't spoil.
When I was in the ambulance, yeah,
I
I was in the ambulance, and then you know it was just people saying, you know, you're gonna be all right, you know, everything's gonna be okay, and all that kind of stuff.
So you got hit, T-boned, right behind the passenger seat. Your airbags didn't go off. Your head slams into something in the car. They think it was the window. You get knocked out and start having seizures.
Yeah.
You're, not to get too descriptive, but I heard like you're foaming at the mouth.
I didn't remember that.
That's what I heard from someone there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you had seizures, and then you're out, right? And you go in an ambulance. They put you in an induced coma.
Yes.
So you're in an induced coma. Go to the Wharton Hospital first, and they realize it's not good. So then you are life-flighted via helicopter to downtown Houston.
Yes.
And put in the intensive care unit. So before we go on this story, I kind of want to tell my side of it too.
Little swap.
Little swap. Little POV.
Let's hear it.
POV. So I'm in Lubbock, right? And I was actually like not having a great weekend. My best friend Lindsay decided that she was going to stop playing on the volleyball team the day before.
Oh, wow.
So I spent like the whole day crying the day before, like sobbing my eyes out.
Oh.
And then Mom and Jason leave. And a few hours into their drive, so I think like 5 hours into their drive, I'm doing laundry at home. And Mom sends me a text like, oh, Jonas was in a little accident, she said. So I'm thinking,
little.
I said, silly Jonas, he got rear-ended, like... Jonas, oh my gosh, that Jonas, that guy.
This guy.
So I just keep doing laundry, and I'm like, well, I hope he's okay. Like, shoot, that's crazy. And then I don't hear anything for a bit. And then the next thing I hear is Jonas is in an ambulance. And I'm like, wait. I'm like, what? And I start freaking out, right? Next thing I hear, and at that point, Mom and Jason were with you, and Mom said that was, like, one of the hardest thing she's ever had to go through in life was seeing you, like, in the life light, and, like, the person working the front desk at the Wharton Hospital was, like, crying and sobbing. So that doesn't help. Like, if a medical person...
About me?
Yes!
Oh.
Like, crying and sobbing.
I didn't know that.
Yes! And so Mom saw you, like, go up in the helicopter. And so then I get a phone call or a text from Mom or Dad or someone that said that you're being life-flighted to Houston. And at that point, I'm on the ground... Huge anxiety attack. I don't know what's happening around me. I'm sobbing. I'm like screaming.
Where were you at this point? Were you still at the volleyball game? I was at my
house. Oh, no, I was in my house. I'm in my house on the floor. Lindsay, who just quit volleyball the day before, calls our head coach. So I'm sure the head coach was like, what is she calling about?
What is she doing here? Get her out of here. Yeah.
What is she calling about? But she calls our head coach, explains the situation. Our trainer comes over to check on me. Lindsay and Lauren, shout out to Lindsay and Lauren, my two best friends, my roommates, they pack up a suitcase and everybody drives me, like trainer, actually I don't even know if the trainer was there, but we ended up meeting like our manager, our director of ops at the time, at the airport, and Texas Tech Volleyball ended up flying me home, like, to come see you. And it was, like, the first flight out. We had a tournament in Colorado, in Boulder, the next day that we were flying to.
Wow.
So they were like, Audrey, don't even worry about it. Go home. And they flew me out. And
shout out to them.
Yeah, I know.
That's actually that's really kind there.
It's cool. It was really cool of them.
Nice of
Yeah, shout out. Go Red Raiders. Wreck 'em. So I get home at midnight, and we get news, right? You're in the induced coma. I didn't see you in the induced coma, but Mom and Dad did. And you, we get news that your brain is bleeding. It's continuing to bleed. And if it goes 1 more milliliter over, they're going to do open brain surgery on you.
So you were still traveling at this point when you heard this part?
I landed, and that was around the same time. I kid you not, on the airplane, I was like full on sobbing. Like, I'm sure the people next to me was like, what is going on?
Great! Oh, brother!
Oh, brother, this guy's...
This guy stinks!
And I wasn't, like, fully into my faith yet at this point. And this situation, this whole event plays a huge role in my faith. But I'm not fully into, like, my faith yet, but I was listening to Christian music. I was, like, praying the entire time. And I land. And all of a sudden, like, so they say 1 more milliliter, and they're opening your brain and going into brain surgery. And it stops. Like, your bleeding stops right there.
It's crazy.
And incredible. I mean, that's...
a miracle. I mean...
higher power right there.
Crazy. Yeah.
That was, like, I think my first situation where I was, like... not my first, but I was, like, that's God. Like, that's some higher power right there doing something. I think God, in my opinion, I think God was like, it's not your time yet. You still have a reason to be on this planet.
Yeah.
So wake up the next day. You're in the intensive care unit. We're during COVID, so you only get 1 visitor. Mom and Dad. I know. I know. And like,
I didn't even have COVID.
It's just because you're 18. It's just because you're 18 too. If not, like, wish this happened another day, but if it happened 2 days earlier, you could have had your whole family in there. Thanks, Jonas.
What the freak?
So, you're 18, right? And so, really sweet, I kind of talked to Mom and Dad. I'm like, hey, Jonas and I have a really special bond. I want to be there for him. So, Mom and Dad let me be your guest. So, you're on the top floor in the ICU, the intensive care unit, right? You're in the very back, so I have to, like, walk and see all the patients in the state that they're in the intensive care unit without knowing what state you were going to be in. And that was the hardest walk.
When you did the walk, was this after you found out that the bleeding part stopped?
Yes, I knew that they were going to try to wake you up today. We had no idea. Like, we didn't know if you were going to be mentally capable of anything the rest of your life.
Wow.
We didn't know. I went up there, and my mom had a whole pep talk with me. She's like, Audrey, whatever state that he comes out in, like, you have to be strong. You have to, like, be there for him. If he has no idea who you are...
that would be crushing.
You have to be mentally okay with this. So I did, like, a lot of mental prep work, and to be, like, okay. Like, I was like, okay, whatever state that he's going to be in, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be strong. And so I'm walking through, and I just see all these people who, like, literally look like they're not going to make it. Like, they are hooked up to so many different... yeah. And so I'm walking there, and I, like, am heading towards your door. And I walk in, I turn in, and you're, like, you're awake.
I was already awake.
You were already awake when I got there.
You're right, yeah. I remember when I woke up, y'all didn't support me.
No, we got there as soon as the hospital opened. They woke you up early. But you were already awake, but you had that, like, thing down your throat that was helping you breathe. Do you remember that?
What do they call them?
I don't know.
Defibrillator, ventilator? I forgot what they're called, but... yeah, it was a machine that would basically breathe for me. And, little side note, being conscious, when you're not breathing on your own, and being conscious is the weirdest feeling of all time. That was actually very wild.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And so, I think the coolest thing, one of the coolest things about this was how much the community within 24 hours, like, went around you and supported you. Like I ended up posting something about it. The word got out somehow that what you went through. And all of your high school, because you just you were still in high school. You're still in high school.
Yeah, this was beginning of senior year for me.
Yeah.
High school.
And so all of
Like,
your
literally
high
a few weeks
school back to you, they like did all this stuff and decorated your parking spot like outside. Your swim team made a bunch of posters and came to visit you at the hospital. And so that was really cool. And I remember coming in and you were still kind of confused at what happened. And so I had to be the one that was like, "Hey, you were just in a car crash." It was so movie-like, you know? And then I started showing you
definitely.
the posts and stuff that people were saying online and like everybody making those signs for you. And you started like crying. It was, you were emotional for a good reason.
Oh, for
and
sure.
your brain was like out of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But how incredible is that you not only like survived it, but you came out your normal self.
I actually think about that quite a bit. I'm like, I am beyond blessed to, as far as I know, right now, not to have any permanent damage from it.
Well, don't say as far as I know right now.
Well, like,
You were on anti-seizure medicine for a while after.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to drive.
Yeah, the official medical term was a hemorrhage, where the brain was actually bleeding itself alongside a skull fracture on the right side of my frontal lobe. So, in terms of the actual conditions, it was, they wanted to put me on anti-seizure meds for about 3 months to make sure that I, wouldn't have a seizure. And then the main thing that they talked about was, hey, as long as the skull fracture heals, you should be perfectly okay afterwards. And it took a little over a year for it to fully heal. And I like to think, usually whenever bone grows after being broken, I've heard that it comes back stronger. So, I could be a football star now.
I think that's a symbolic right there. Whenever something's broken,
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. The Tuttle.
Is that
the Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true though, and I don't know. For me personally, I felt I felt so close to you after that. Like, obviously we've talked about this. We've always been close.
Yeah.
But like going through that and almost losing you and almost being like an only child in a sense. Like we have obviously like step siblings and like half siblings, but like a sibling that I've had in my entire life, and like being an only child and having to think that for 24 hours. Like that made me like honestly for like 2 weeks after that I was like, I want to hang out with Jonas just like all the time, and that's it, and that's the only person I want to hang out with. And this was really special. But I remember we took you home from the hospital. By the way, you just turned 18. First ever papers signed were the papers, the medical papers to get you out of the hospital.
Yeah, medical papers, insurance still coming for my ass here. It's crazy.
No, I'm kidding.
My butt.
My booty.
My booty.
My booty.
No.
Yeah, so, but I remember we took you home from the hospital and I came there to pick you up with Mom and Jason, and you were like leaning on my shoulder and just fell asleep, and it was like the most peaceful, like, I was like, oh, Jonas.
Someone took a picture of that.
I did. I took several selfies.
You took some selfies?
That was the worst day of my entire life. Like, the worst. But,
I might have to agree.
What do you mean? You don't even remember it.
Actually, the morning was pretty fun. I was in Austin with my friends. So,
oh.
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a fun way to end the trip.
No, not a fun way to end the trip. And they had to cut up your favorite UT Longhorns shirt.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not going to go on a rant about UT. But
Horns down?
Things. No, actually, I want to say it on the record. I like UT. I did get capped, so I don't go there. I go to the glorious Texas State University. Best university ever.
Eat 'em up cats.
Eat 'em up cats, exactly. But yeah, so they trimmed up that UT shirt. And so as a gift afterwards, my friend bought me a new UT shirt. And then I wore it on the day that my cat died. So ever since then...
R.I.P. Bingo.
Ever since then, I have never worn the UT shirt.
As you shouldn't.
It looks... I go into my closet and it looks at me like the Green Goblin mask to Willem Dafoe. William Dafoe.
Yeah.
Just calling the name, it's a cursed object. I haven't worn it since.
Jonas,
Exactly.
put me on.
It's
Put
so
me
bad.
on.
It's so bad. But I'll wear the Bobcat merch all the time.
Yeah,
Love it.
eat them up. Let's go. Wear that maroon.
Yeah, that
Rock
time.
the maroon.
I find it really interesting because everybody had a different perspective
Yeah.
on it. You were in Lubbock before then. For me, I don't remember parts of it, those parts, but I do remember my own parts within there.
Yeah.
Like with the coma, those were the two little images that I talked about earlier,
Yeah.
like moments before the crash. Those, it's hard to describe because I was in a medically induced coma, so technically it was kind of blank, I wasn't really thinking. But it was like flashing in my mind, just that part, but only briefly once. Like a dreamlike state. But for me, what happened was I woke up in that room and I was in complete shock. I was like, what's going on? What am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
What is this? And so what I did at first, I couldn't speak. I had the thing breathing for me. And I couldn't move either because my arms were strapped to the chair, which
strapped.
a little, yeah, exactly. A little disclaimer, apparently what would happen is each hour they would check the blood leakage in my brain, and how they would do this is they would take me out of the coma or something like that and then give me an MRI or something like that.
That sounds right.
CTE scan?
I don't know.
One of those scans.
I have no idea.
I'm forgetting my terminology, but
Yeah.
well, apparently what would happen is every time I'd be taken out, I'd try and fight them or whatever.
He's a fighter.
I'd get a little
He's a fighter.
feisty, and so what happened is they tied me down. So I woke up tied down, couldn't speak. I was being breathed. A machine was breathing for me, which is crazy. So until they finally noticed, they're like, "Oh my God, he's awake!" I heard the little whispers and all that. So they came over and I signaled this. You can't see if you're not watching it, but I had the open hand in one and then the signal of a pencil in the other because I wanted to write. Of course, first I asked,
how your friend was.
Yeah.
In the car.
Yeah, is she okay? What's up? And then I said what happened, and that's when they told me. I was like, wow, that little dream thing that I thought about actually happened then, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Eventually Audrey came in and it was so thankful, so awesome to see her.
Aww.
Yeah, admittedly, I was tearing up, definitely
Aww.
crying when I was seeing everybody. She even called people on the swim team and all that were that all, just saying, rooting for me and all that.
Yeah.
Glad that I'm doing okay and that I'm awake.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Eventually I was also conscious when they took out, I'm just going to call it defibrillator.
Yeah.
The machine, which I'll spare you the gross details, but in short, I had a raspy voice. I was like, and my first words that I said, technology, man.
Oh my God.
Because I was like, the machine was breathing for me. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Is that where you got your inspiration?
Actually, yeah. I wanted to segue into the inspiration kind of thing.
Okay.
So, before the crash itself, I always definitely was intrigued with technology. Whether it's, some things that I'd watch, some games that I'd play, or just in general, technology is pretty marvelous. It's cool, the things people have created. As a young person, I've always wanted to create my own things and build my own things.
He was the Lego guy.
Yeah, pretty awesome Lego guy. But, yeah, I figured out more what I wanted to do as time went on, but the main thing that happened was after the car crash is really when I figured out what I wanted to do with technology. Because I had realized, of course, it was a miracle and a blessing, and I thank God so much for saving my life. But also, I thank a lot of not just the hardworking people that, because this is a multiple person operation.
Oh, yeah.
To keep a
To keep
single
you alive.
person alive.
Yeah.
The people from the helicopter driving, even the police checking out the situation, the person overseeing me, I don't know if I can name drop for the, maybe not, but the doctor that was overseeing me and all that. And I was just so thankful that I was also saved by human ingenuity and the hard working, just people that would work here to save people's lives and want to go towards
Hey, shout out to our medical, like any doctors, nurses,
I
anyone
love
out
y'all.
there.
Actually saving lives.
Like
by the day.
literally saving
By the
lives.
day.
Yeah.
And even if you don't hear it from them, because I didn't see a lot of them personally afterwards, if I could say it right now, thank you so much for keeping me alive. I literally wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for every single one of y'all.
Yeah. So I kind of want to segue now into, I think what's a really cool connection with you being intrigued by technology and especially like medical technology to you. I mean, you've lived so much life now after this crash. And part of it is this past summer, you spent the entire summer in China doing AI work for one of their hospitals. Let's talk about it. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Heck yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, just to finish off though from the crash, to sum it up, that part up, is I actually wanted to end up developing technology that would, just help out humanity. I wanted to give back to humanity as much as I could in what I developed, in hope that it would also, further progress. Create innovation and opportunity. I want to do it for humanity. So at that point, I decided that I wanted to go into technology and all that. Crazy enough, though, I applied to a lot of different universities. I applied to 5 in total. 4 of them I chose business. Weird enough, huh?
Interesting.
Business administration, to be exact. And 1 computer science, and that's Texas State University. My mindset was that, I wanted to lead projects.
Yeah.
To go and further this, kind of like Steve Jobs style, so to speak. But going back now, I'm very glad that I ended up going computer science.
Yeah.
Because that's how you actually learn the concepts in our... That's even the people that are the project leads, they're all computer science majors.
Yeah,
That's how they
so
get into it.
screw business. Anyone who went to college for a business degree.
Hey, I'm business administration minor, so, So
Okay.
in China, what happened was I asked my professor, I was like, hey, I'd love to do either TA work with you or do some research with you. What's up with that? Or not with, I was like, hey, I'd love to do
Yo,
this.
prof!
Yo, prof! This is my 2nd semester with him, by the way. So what happened was, at the end of the year, when summer was coming close, he came up to me and he was like, hey, Jonas, I want to talk about an opportunity with you.
Okay.
So I met with him, and that's when he offered, just out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, but basically out of nowhere. I didn't hear about China before this. He said, hey, we have an offer here if you would like to do machine learning research in China. And I was like, oh, yes! 1,000,000 times yes. This is like the opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to just talk about China in general?
Yeah,
or?
like, were you nervous to go? And, what did you do when you were there? And what were your thoughts on being there for 3 months?
I was a little nervous to go, only because I had not lived in another country for a long time. For a long period of time, that is. But I think the excitement way over trumped the nervousness.
Good, okay.
And so overall, I was crazy excited, super thankful for it. Year of opportunity. Crazy enough, I called it the year of opportunity at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And it just manifested. It kind of happened.
Yeah.
So I flew over. I could tell you endlessly. I could say for hours about all the stories. But in short, it was an amazing experience. I had come pretty well prepared. I had clothing and all the basic stuff that I needed. I had purchased...
You mean you weren't running around China naked?
That's good. I was not. Crazy enough.
That's good.
But I had shampoo, like for instance, shampoo, conditioner, body soap, but TSA in the US threw that away because I forgot to...
I remember Mom telling me about that. She was so upset.
I
she
checked
was so sad.
it instead of... I put carry-on instead of checked in.
You're a frequent traveler, Jonas. You
like,
should have known.
Frick.
You should have known.
I really should have.
Okay, so what specifics were you doing in China? I know you did some heart stuff.
Yeah, so specifically what I was working on, I was in Guangzhou, which is south. It's about 2 hours from Hong Kong. And what I was doing is I was working inside of a hospital, to be exact, doing machine learning. And so the idea was I was working on the artificial intelligence laboratory for cardiovascular health. And what it was is we wanted to figure out a way to automate diagnosis for various heart conditions. Mine specifically was called Patent Foramen Ovale, called PFO for short, so I'll call it PFO. And so the idea... Okay,
You're
maybe
losing me.
I won't do all the STEM concepts.
You're losing me.
In the end, fun fact, 1 in 4 people suffer from PFO, so if it's not us two, it might just be you listening. Just be careful.
What? You can't just say that.
So what PFO is this is a hole in somebody's heart. Everybody has a hole in their heart
What if I
whenever
have
they're
this?
an infant and a young baby and growing up.
Okay.
When the blood's flowing through the atriums and the ventricles are the names of them, left and right, for each of them. There's basically 4 chambers of the heart. And so what'll happen is when you grow up, the hole gets clogged. But in this case, patent foramen ovale, the hole still exists.
Mm.
And overall, it's not that big of a deal, but what can happen is it can create a bad flow of the blood vessels or whatever.
Yeah.
In the whatever I forgot what it is, but the flow of the blood throughout the heart and everything can be a little whacked up and messed up. And in worst case, it can actually create, it can put somebody in a stroke.
So you were creating AI to locate that in people, to notice if people had that?
Yeah, so they had a procedure to diagnose it. I'll skip over the details, but what it was is my task was to work on machine learning that would automatically diagnose it. So given these videos, basically an ultrasound of the heart, echocardiography is what it's called, it would essentially, they would have the recordings and I would create the machine learning that would automate the diagnosis right there. And throughout the time, I messed with various different things, image segmentation, but a lot of people would contribute this in the computer science world for machine learning. This is called image segmentation, where it's able to discover objects when being trained with a certain data set for these things. So for mine specifically, it was trying to find what's called microbubbles, which is an agent that they injected to see if it's in the heart and all that.
Dude, we are so advanced as a society.
It's in,
or maybe just China is.
even besides the machine learning part, I find it insane that this is how they discover the heart.
Are we doing this stuff in America, or are we behind?
I definitely think that's in America.
Okay.
What's really awesome is, medical and even research. This is what I really love about research, is it's universal. It has no biases. Everybody
that's beautiful.
wants to just publish research for the sake of helping humanity.
Yeah.
Furthering progress.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was in China and just working on that, and it was super awesome. I had my lab mates. They did different projects, but also automated diagnosis. Mine was PFO specifically.
I don't know about you, but when I went and traveled internationally for the first time, it was my freshman year in college when we went to go play professional teams in Italy and Slovenia. I got this major itch and bug in me to where I wanted to go see the entire world, and that's yes, period. I as soon as I did that, I've literally since college I've been trying to go to different countries every year. And this year, Costa Rica and Canada. I'm going to Canada in the summer.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So, did you get that?
Oh, for sure. All of the other countries, of course. I want to go to China again. That was so fun. I made lifelong friends. I was there for 2 months. I also would really love to visit. Actually, I have something in my bucket list.
What is it?
Little hype stuff. Little hype guy.
Hype! We got the hype man here!
This is my little bucket list. What I want to do
man.
is I want to visit every continent at least once.
That's on my bucket list.
I have Europe, Asia, and North America on there, so I'm missing 4.
You've been to... Mexico is North America. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Central America. I mean, if that counts, but Belize.
I count Central America as North because technically it is. I believe so. Some people consider it a part. Still, but yeah. South America would be the other one.
I thought what was really funny. So Jonas was wrapping up his 3 months at China, and our family was in a trip in Europe, in Holland, in the Netherlands, and Jonas literally flew from China.
Yeah.
To Houston, to Amsterdam.
Yep.
In less than 24 hours.
It was insane. Technically, it was more on the side of 48 because quite literally time-wise...
You went around the world.
I was I was in the air for close to 24 hours.
Yeah.
But it was genuinely, I was on the ground in San Francisco briefly for 6 or 7 hours, and then in Houston for about 5 hours.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was genuinely straight from China to US to Europe. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But yeah,
I love flying though.
About the bug, like I think it's different countries having different like cultures and ways of living and everything is something that's so intriguing to me and so beautiful to me.
It's awesome.
And so I just want to see the whole world. I want to see it all. I just want to travel. I love being on a plane. I love doing that.
Mm. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I've grown up in the U.S. all my life. Love the U.S. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super cool because each state kind of has its own culture in some way as well.
Yeah, that's so true.
But I love just the cultural diversity throughout the entire world. And that's why I want every single continent so I can experience it all. I don't know what Antarctica has, but, you know.
Penguins?
It'd be kind of awesome. Research, I guess.
Do little happy feet?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I think that's really neat and cool. Jonas, do you have anything else you want to chat about?
Okay,
I'll
have to figure it out. But if anybody knows me, I'm very much known for random questions.
Oh, I know what you're about to do.
Absolutely random
questions.
questions.
I have one for you then after this.
If you'd like to, you can ask, because I haven't thought of one yet. I mean, it's like that. I could just figure it out super
It's a
fast,
good tie-in to us traveling.
Okay, let's hear it.
So Jonas, every single time that we are on an airplane, he's notoriously famous for this. He whips out the safety manual.
Yep.
And has to read it every single time. And people
Right before the flight.
And it's kind of funny. It's kind of a joke, but I'm like, you know what? If I'm sitting next to someone on a plane, I want it to be Jonas because he knows what's up. So let's hear, what is your safety plan?
For the safety plan, I got it on the back of my head now. I don't need to read it anymore. But, you know, maybe if I pull out the good old notebook, it would convince others around me to also read it. Get that learn. So you can put me on the emergency exit as long as the doors don't open like that one time on the airplanes.
The Alaskan Airlines, that was insane. At first I thought it was fake. I was like, that's not true. That's the window's gone.
Little clickbait.
Dude, and you're just up in the air and that's happening.
I would probably crap my pants.
You've told me before that it's safer to sit in the back of the plane.
Yes. Stats have shown that the back of the plane can even have up to around 50% survival rate, somewhere around there. People in the front, like first class, you know, you pay the money to die if you're falling. You know,
the one time that
like if I was rich and I was in first class and the plane had signs of crashing, like I overheard the captains, I'd be like, oh my gosh, someone in the back, hey, you want to switch with me? Holy cow, you want first class?
So inhumane.
Not very hyper.
Not very hype of you. So your strat here is sit in the back.
Sit in the back.
Pray.
Number one. Pray, yes. But number two, this is something I've thought about. It's my own personal theory.
Okay, I'm excited.
So, everybody that knows all these modern airplanes, they have the floating seat. Their seat, you can detach it. It floats. That's the entire idea.
It's a floater.
Underneath it, gross. Anyways. Underneath it is the yellow life jacket, but above the yellow life jacket is literally the seat you're sitting on. And the seat is also a flotation device. You just kind of hug it and it floats. Are you still laughing? And so the idea is, I would genuinely think about pulling that and using it to protect my head. Because the head is much more important than my tush. So if I have time to go out in the plane, I'm putting the life vest on, inflating it already, so I have that cushioning. And then I would debate thinking about it. There's an empty seat next to me. Pull the seat out for the flotation device and hold it over my head so I protect my head the most, because that's, you know, the most important part of the human body that you want to protect.
Wait, this is kind of brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
I've never put any thought towards this.
Well, yeah, and then if it crashes, you know, hopefully you'll be okay. After that, it's honestly, if it's water, good luck, Charlie.
Why?
But if it's land, well, actually, I heard water might be better than land. I don't know, but I would just be scared because the plane is drowning at that point, and then the water's coming in. That would freak me out. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't follow the procedures. I'd be swimming.
Little Titanic.
But the land,
But then it's a hard land if you're hitting the ground.
That is true. Hopefully they just have it at a perfect angle where it's not destroying everything in sight.
Yeah. Huh.
After that point, it's just not luck-based, but you probably just follow the basic procedures. Just get out safely. Make sure everybody that's alive is out. Try and help them out. Divide them by their severity of their injury. The super less injured people will help out in getting the injured people out of there and in care.
You've really thought about this.
Yeah, just divide the teams on, calling authorities, calling police. They probably already have in the airways, whatever, air traffic control. And then just keep people safe. Said it right there. But yeah, I was adamant. I was thinking about, if you're like near fatally injured, put them in a certain section and care for them. That is the people that are most experienced, care for them. Put others in the middle tier that can't help out but are okay. And then the people that can help out just helps out.
If Jonas Tuttle is ever on your flight, you're good.
If I survive.
You're fine. No, he's
all about
a
the initial
survivor.
part.
We
Knock
know
on
this
wood.
from the car crash. You're a survivor.
Did it once. Who knows?
Bring on the plane.
They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but I mean...
Bring on the... No, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, I'm kidding. Do not be safe for the rest of your life. Please, Jonas.
This will end up in a YouTube video. Top 10 biggest coincidences in the world. That'd be crazy. I'd cry.
Okay. What were your... So Jonas is very big on what-if questions, too.
Yeah, what-ifs.
What-ifs and would-you-rathers. Like, we'll be in the middle
time.
of a random conversation at home. Like, Mom and I are, like, talking about the day, whatever.
I just pull something out of my butt.
Jonas just comes out of nowhere. Hey, guys, what if...
What would you do if...
What would you do if... So give me one. I'm ready.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I could ask so many things. This one's probably more generic of one.
Okay. Come on, you're usually creative.
Oh, I have a consistent one that I love asking. I forgot what it was. Whatever. I'll just ask a more tame one, a basic one.
Tame.
Is that this very moment.
This very moment, okay?
This very moment. What happens is everyone in the world has a screen in front of them pop up that says the apocalypse starts right now.
Oh my gosh.
You don't know what kind of apocalypse it is.
Oh my gosh.
You don't know what's up.
Oh my gosh.
You get to choose 2 weapons. What are you going to do at this very second?
So I have 2 weapons. It's the zombie apocalypse right now, right the second we're in this room. I think I just locked the door.
On a college campus.
No.
You'd be done by daylight.
Not the door's locked. These are like some double stained windows. We're in a... we need to eat. I mean, we have this much water left.
I'm out. I'm dead. I'm fried.
He's a goner.
It's over. That's the one thing I can't survive.
Yeah, I have no idea. I think my first thought... Katniss Everdeen.
Oh, you choose a bow.
The girl... the girl on fire.
Would you choose the Mockingjay bows that have explosives?
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Or like Gale's with the...
Team Gale, Team PETA, comment below.
If you choose Gale...
I have to go
We're not
book PETA.
friends.
Book PETA.
Book PETA. Thank you. And book and movie PETA.
PETA, Edward, Conrad. It's the
Kiss,
big
marry,
3.
kill.
We should have done that. What the heck?
Do it.
That would.
Kiss, marry, kill. PETA, Edward, Conrad, Connie Baby from.
Yeah, we'll do
Summer I Turned Pretty.
the big 3.
Jonas and I binged The Summer I Turned Pretty together.
Greatest show ever.
It is fantastic.
What's Belly's name in real life? Belly, if you're watching this.
He has a crush on you.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, wait. Belly or Rachel Ziegler for you?
Lucy Graybaird. The Lucy Graybaird.
I'm really liking these Hunger Games talks.
Yeah, these Hunger Games. Yeah.
Okay, no. Kiss, marry, kill. Connie Baby, PETA, Edward. I'd have to... Okay, I'm a huge Edward fan. I ended up reading the Twilight that just came out, the Midsummer, whatever it's called.
From his perspective.
His perspective, he's creepy.
He's a freaking vampire. I mean, what would you expect,
he's like major stalker. So I would get that. I would, in Twilight to kill the vampires, you gotta rip them apart and burn them. I'd rip them apart and burn him because I'd kill him.
What happened to the garlic?
That's not...
Is that fake in the Twilight series?
Yeah, that's not a thing.
I only remember the first movie.
Fake fan. Fake fan. So yeah, kill Edward. Ooh. I've been a PETA stan since like 10 years old. Kiss PETA. No. Marry PETA. That's what I meant.
I was about to say.
No. Marry PETA. And then kiss Connie. 100% your look, Connie, baby. Jonas has changed his haircut. Just because of Conrad Fisher.
And the top.
And the top.
I'm actually trying to be Conrad.
If you see him...
Trying to bring the bellies out. Where's the bellies?
Again, Jonas is single. I want a wonderful sister-in-law. Hit him up on...
Super awesome.
The Jonas Tuttle.
Computer science major, so no need to worry about finances. Just saying.
But your wife can still have a job if she wants to.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you want to ever retire at, like, age, I don't know. We're good.
Oh my God.
We're good.
Okay, we need to wrap up this episode.
Hour, 10 minutes.
It's been an hour and a while. It's been a while. So, a few things here that I wrap up episodes with. I always do a QOTP, quote of the podcast.
Okay.
Do you have any quotes? What's your favorite quote?
Oh,
Off the top of your head. Off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head. Hold on. You can't count down.
3, 2, 1, go!
I completely forgot what the quote is. It's by Confucius, famous Chinese philosopher. Oh no.
Oh no.
What is it? I put it on both of my presentations last year and in China. I put it in the presentation at the end. I might butcher the quote, and it might even be somebody else completely, but it doesn't matter how many times you fall, it matters how many times you rise back up.
Ooh. It doesn't matter how many times you fall, it matters how many times you rise back up. Ooh, I like that. Okay, hype man!
Pretty hype.
Okay,
Gotta thank Confucius for that one.
Get up in here! Woo! That's a good one. I like that. That's really good. I'm gonna keep that.
It's awesome.
Other thing I do in my episodes, I do challenges for my listeners. I have one challenge. If you have a family member or someone that you haven't talked to in a while, reach out to them, you guys. Like, call them, connect back with them, even like a friend or someone.
Podcast with them.
Podcast with them. Get on the pod. Go reconnect with family members, chat with them. Do you have any challenges for our viewers?
Thank a stranger tomorrow. Not thank, sorry. Compliment a stranger.
Hello,
tomorrow.
stranger. Thank you.
Thank you, stranger. You're so awesome. Compliment them.
Compliment them. Aww.
Anyway, I like your smile. You know.
Aww.
I'll do the same.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Well, if you listened to episode 1, that was my challenge.
Do it again.
You were asleep.
You know what? Episode 4, do it 4 times this week.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, do compliment a stranger. Reach out to a past friend or a relative that you haven't talked to in a while. I was gonna say tell people you love them. It's a stranger.
I love you. Like Patrick. What do you want? I love you.
Why was that perfect? Okay. And then Jonas, I'm going to wrap this up, but do you have anything else you want to say to our viewers? Any hype, motivation, take on the world, take on the challenges ahead of you? This is your last time to shine on this podcast.
Oh, wow.
You'll never be invited.
Is this going to be like a moment where they just cut the podcast right before I start talking? You're just going to prank it?
That's a good idea. But go ahead.
Okay.
One last little hype, like hyper
Remember,
hands up.
At the end of the day, it's your choice to do what you want with your life. You are the master of your universe that you can help and work with. And I want to say, believe in yourself, trust yourself, and work with yourself because you are all you got at the end of the day. Love and embrace everybody and accept everybody, but believe in yourself because you can do so many great things.
Period. I like it.
Exclamation point.
Not period, exclamation point. Okay, this has been so much fun. Jonas, thank you for coming on this podcast episode.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for making me the first.
Yeah.
To speak on here.
You're the first guest on the podcast.
I love it.
All right, you guys, thank y'all so much for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, feel free to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Your Hype Girl Pod. Definitely hit us up on those social media accounts. Also, make sure to like and subscribe and download and leave reviews for all these podcasts so we can keep this thing going. Let's build this positive community. Just remember that y'all can accomplish anything you set your mind to, so go crush the day, go crush the week ahead, take on those challenges full force. You got this. I'm proud of you. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Thank you for listening. I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.